good to go. Super late stream tonight. But I got this and I wanted to open up, so I figured I would stream opening it up, I guess. Thought that sounded kind of like fun. So what the hell is this? This is the Dark Oath Army box. Real talk, this is some terrible fucking box art. Like a bunch of shapes and like mist and this guy. Look at the fucking face this guy's making. He like, it's like a combination of like grimace and constipation. Even worse is the lady here. Look at that lady. She's just like, ugh. This is terrible artwork, man. Absolutely fucking terrible. Whoever drew this did a really bad job. Like even the line of the horizon doesn't make any sense. So you're probably not going to see this super well on camera. But see how there's like the monster and the line, and then this guy's in the foreground, and these guys are like floating in fucking space. Like, whoever put that together as a composition, like for real, you should feel bad about yourself. Like, not even joking. That's really bad work. So yeah, I was not super excited for this box when it got announced. However, I got it on a hell of a deal. I basically got it for half price. Partly, I think, because it wasn't very popular, and sometimes these army sets don't sell very well. Sometimes you can get them in pretty big discounts. Other times they sell out in literally milliseconds. So this one I actually got for cheaper than the Spearhead box, even though it contains like twice as much stuff. So, but I thought these guys would be kind of cool. I was a little bit in a barbarian mood, and there's some really fun models in here, even if the box art sucks. So this really cool monster thing called the Wilder Fiend, and then you get this guy on a horse, and you get like some horse cav, and then you get 20 troopers, which is pretty cool. So anyway, I figured we would open it up. I don't really intend to play AOS with these guys, to be totally honest, but I thought they would be kind of fun to do some like Fantasy Quest or something from OPR with. Ooh, look at that. Interesting. So these box inserts usually have a piece of box art on them. They're usually not just blank and generic like that. It's always nice to have these box inserts though, because they keep the things from bouncing around, but it's very weird that that's just like blank and generic. Alright. Damn. That's a big old set of 3 sprues there. I'm guessing that's our troopers. And then this, I think, is our boss on Horsey. We'll look at that in detail. This one's our Wilder creature. Look at that in detail too. And then we're going to get 3 sprues of Horsies, which makes 5 Horsies. And we will look at them in detail too. What else do we get in here? Underneath, we've got our bases. We got a big base for our monster, little bases for our guys, kind of a big oval base for our character on Horsey. And then we get this here. Now this is not a full battle tome, but it's like a supplement for the Slaves to Darkness battle tome. A bunch of cards and stuff for them. I'm going to be super mega honest. I don't even know if this is for this edition. I am so out of it with AOS that this could have been for last edition. I honestly do not know. But we can look at it anyway. Let's see. We've got a little token sheet here. Tokens seem nice, even though they want to fall out all the time. And then we've got our Slaves to Darkness cards. Chieftain, Dude, Marauders, and Horsies. sell these tokens, man. Defeated by tokens. Be totally honest, I really just want to look at the sprues, but I figure we should look at everything. Then we get our instructions for building them, so we'll go through those together as well. And then we get our little Dark Oath book with that fucking terrible cover art. That's just horrible. God. It's funny, right? Like, these are like barbarians, right? So you think they would have a lot of like really classic kind of like 80s art to them. But it's a lot of this more like very kind of like serious, detailed. Like that's more kind of what I'm expecting, right? Like some colors, a little bit of thing. Yeah. Then we get a little bit of lore. Get some pictures of painted models. That's pretty fun. You get our profiles. Okay, so all kind of standard stuff. Nothing super amazing. Now let's look at the actual good stuff. Huzzah! Alright, let's see. What do we want to look at first? Let's look at the guys first. So it looks like these come in one big set of 3 sprues, and then both of these sprues are identical. Okay, so you get 6 sprues, each one duplicated 1 time. 3 sprues make a set. Alright, so let's see what we got. Does that help or does that make it worse? That makes it worse, okay. Alright, let's see, what do we got? We got some kind of cool looking sword there. We've got these very like kind of like northern Asian looking shields. We got some little short spears. Some pretty dynamic poses on there. Some of these shields also have like bits and bobs and doodads and trinkets and trophies and stuff. That's pretty cool. There's one axe. Some cool flowing hair. There's a lady with a cool mohawk. So it does look to be a mix of ladies and dudes, which is pretty cool. It's a lady with some dreads. That's pretty neat. She's got like a horsetail of dreads. That's pretty cool. So yeah, lots of nice little detail and stuff on there. They're kind of chopped up in odd ways. So I'm really not sure if these are going to be like super swappable and stuff. Maybe we'll be able to see a little better when we're looking at the instructions. I think the hands they look like they're going to be completely swappable with anything, but maybe the arms themselves are not. We got kind of a bigger lady there. That's really cool. There she is. That's pretty dope. And then we got kind of a bigger dude too. It's kind of cool. Definitely not something you normally see. And we got a banner there with a bunch of heads on it. Yeah, it looks like short swords or some kind of melee weapon. I'm not seeing a lot of melee weapons in the left hand, so I'm guessing you can't do like a double weapon berserker kind of thing. And the last sprues for them. That's really cool. I'm betting that's for the banner. This big head here. And some more axes, some more swords. Weird empty spots on the sprues. I think they would have put something there. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of empty spots. That's really weird. Do you think they would have put something there? There's actually a lot of wasted space on this sprue. Strange. That's a cool shield with a skull on it. Whoop. 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 Come on. Come on. You know you wanna. Alright, I give up with that one. But yeah, kind of cool. Got a bunch of neat little detail and trinkets and baubles and stuff all over them. Kind of cool. They should make some fun kind of characterful kind of minis. Alright, let's go find them in the instructions. Alright. So, here they are in the instructions. And it looks like they're going to differentiate between axes, swords, and spears. Interesting. Okay. Let's see. It looks like kind of all the bodies go together one way, but we have options for heads, melee weapon, and spear for each mini, it looks like. It looks like all the bodies very much kind of go together in one kind of like position, I guess. Which is a little bit of a shame, but it looks like everybody's at least going to have a different head, or at least have a head option. So that's pretty cool. So you're going to be able to swap their heads, their weapon, and then their shield. That's what you're going to be able to do. It looks like we, in addition to a banner guy, we also have a musician who's there banging his drum. There's a guy running on a rock. Yeah, it looks like a lot of maybe some very slight variation in the poses for like one or two of them, but that's about it. Everything else is just swapping the heads, swapping the weapons, swapping all that kind of stuff. Alright, cool. That's not bad. It's always nice when there's more customization and stuff, but not bad. I definitely wouldn't want like a trillion of them because they're going to get really samey really quickly, but just having like 10 or 20 is not going to be that bad. Alright, that's our monster. We're going to look at him last because he's the coolest thing in here. Let's look at our cavalry. Okay, so let's see, what do we got? We've got two big horsey boys. The horsies are nice and like big chunky horses. They're really cool. We've got a bunch of cool looking armor there. And holy shit, do we have a lot of heads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there's at least 10 heads on here. That's pretty cool. So we're going to have a lot of heads for our guys. And it looks like these guys can also be swords, spears, or axes. So that ties in nicely. There's also going to be a musician, as I can see. And then I think these things are like the horse nosies, maybe? Because each one of these horses has like a predator mask, kind of. They're pretty cool. The horses are one of the things I was like, yeah, they're really neat. Alright, let's see what we got for this one. Alright, so two other full horsies here. And then, yeah, looks like we got those weapon options. And the weapon options here, the way they look like they are done, they look like they would actually be able to swap with the troops. If you wanted as well. So like the way that this is cut into the arm, that looks like it's swappable. Pretty easy. Wonder if there's heads would be swappable too. Let's look real quick. So it kind of cuts in like that into the neck. Maybe? Maybe not perfectly, but within the realm of reason. Like within the realm of a small amount of work to swap those heads. And then our last brew for our horsies, let's see, we got big tassel thing, another big banner. This banner, I don't think this banner is going to be swappable with the ground troops though, because this looks like a right-handed banner, and there's no left-handed weapons on that sprue. So you'd have to get a little creative with chopping and changing. But very cool detail on the horses. And they're big, chunky horses, which is cool. Alright. We got our instructions for our horses. Yeah, it looks like the people heads are swappable. The chest armor on the horses, and then the horses' like face mask is swappable. And the weapons as well, obviously. Yeah, it looks like there's also not an option to build the horses without the face mask. And it seems like it's prescribing specific weapons to specific people, but I would bet that all these are fully interchangeable, looking at how they work. So you'd have some variation for sure. If you had more than 5 of these, you'd have some variation, but your horses and the people on them are always going to be the same. Because the people are like kind of molded into the horses. But the armor on the horse is going to change, and the stuff the guy is carrying and stuff is going to change. But it's always going to be the same pose. It's always going to be the same guy. That's a little disappointing. But they're cool looking models, and only with 5 of them in the box, you're going to get to build one of each variation. So that's pretty dope. All right, now we've got our character horsey. This is our character horsey. She's got a really extra big horsey. And then it's got a bunch of armor on it, and it looks like it has some variation in the armor. It looks like we're getting variation on the faceplate, as well as what kind of weapon we want them to have. It looks like we can give them an axe, or we can give them a sword. I don't see a spear. And then it looks like we've got 1 head, 2 heads, 3 heads. One of those heads has like a full mask, which is this one here. One of the heads has like a half, kind of just face mask, and one of them is completely open. Interesting that it would come with those little bits. Yeah. This guy has a lot of pieces compared to like the other horses. Looks like a lot of the pieces of gear and stuff, instead of being molded on like they're on this horse, they're molded separately. So I guess you could paint them separately if you wanted, but there's really not much reason. Alright, let's look at the instructions for him. Okay, yep, looks like we get different weapon arms and different heads. And the horsey can have 2 different masks, including one where it has like a big, like Pegasus kind of blade horn. That's pretty dope. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like the masks on the horsies. They're really neat. They're cool. They're a cool design decision. Yeah, like just look how cool that is. That's really cool. Neat thing here is you're gonna end up with a whole bunch extra of those masks. So, all right. Last but not least, probably the coolest model in here, we have what I think is called the Wild Fiend. This thing's just like a big old honking monster. Some of the heads are really neat. They've got like 2 eyes and stuff in the socket. Probably hard to see, but it's a really cool little detail. And I think this guy comes with 2 different faces, but we'll see in the instructions. There's like a very lots of like little bits like runes and trinkets and skulls and stuff hanging off. I am most excited to paint this thing. I'm actually going to paint it in purple and white candy cane stripes, which should be a lot of fun. Very cool though. A lot of the pieces that aren't like just pieces of armor and stuff, like a lot of the body is cut up really weird, so it's kind of hard to comment on it, but I think there's 2 separate heads on there and 2 separate lower jaws, 2 sets of horns, I think. But the slicing of it's very strange, but pretty cool. The big curly tail's really neat. Alright, let's look at his instructions too. Okay, let's see. Looks like you build the body all one way. Looks like if we didn't want to, we wouldn't have to put the clothes on. So maybe we won't do the clothes. And then he has 2 different necklaces and 2 different heads, it looks like. Yeah, 2 different heads, 2 different sets of horns. Okay. 2 different heads, 2 sets of tusks, 2 sets of horns. Alright, so there's a lot of variation in the face at least. Even if you are always going to have the same pose with no variation at all. You're going to have a lot of variation in the face, so that's pretty cool. Nice. Yeah, he's a cool monster. And that's pretty much everything in the box. Not a bad box compared to this versus the Spearhead. I always have to struggle to think of the word. I think you get 10 more guys, and I think you get the monster, and instead of an on-foot hero, you get a mounted hero. I think that's kind of like the differences. So, pretty cool if you were interested in these dudes. A pretty good, like, because I got this cheaper than the other thing, cheaper than the Spearhead box. So it's a pretty good value for that proposition. If you can get one cheaper like I did. So, but yeah, it'll be some fun kind of design stuff, and the big monster is going to be really fun to paint. Not sure when I'm going to do these, because right now I think I'm trying to finish up some Skaven. But I don't think they're too far. I don't think they're too far on the old build list, just because I really want to build that monster. He's very cool. But I'm going to go ahead and call it there, because I just wanted to quickly open it up. I figured it'd be more fun to do it together than by myself, so I'm going to go ahead and call it there. Thank you guys for watching. We might actually paint some more Dark Oath, like these guys, like we did on Sunday. That guy, and we painted this lady too on Sunday. So maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll play a game. I have to see. It's been a crazy week. But yeah. But go ahead and call it there.